hello everybody. So welcome to, this is our fourth roundtable. So doing pretty good. So today we have, I always see your last name wrong, Lorri, I'm sorry.
My last name, Klassen.
Yeah, Klassen, right? It always messes me up because when I say Klassen, I think there should be a U in there.
Oh, nope.
So introduce yourself, Lorri. You probably could do a much better job than I can.
I don't know. You're pretty good at it too, Kelly. But thank you. Yeah, Lorri Klassen. I'm a social media marketing expert. I've had a small boutique agency here in the Valley since 2011. I absolutely love social media and marketing using all the different platforms. I've done marketing for, oh my goodness, basically every industry you could imagine, real estate and mortgages, through to large development companies, through to music schools, retail. I've assisted everyone, life coaches, everything. So I've had loads of experience, and I absolutely love helping people understand social media and so that they can use it to their benefit.
Nice. And that's where I met you first, is I was going through the self-employment program and they offered me the opportunity to have an hour with you, and you downloaded me on all these things that I did some,
That's
maybe not all
awesome.
of them, but some of them.
Well, and that's definitely a bit of a side hustle for me, is teaching and coaching social media for small business owners and new entrepreneurs, which quite honestly, that's my biggest passion in my career at this point. So yeah, I love it. I love teaching.
Well, you're good at it because I learned a lot just from that one. I think it was an hour or two. I don't know. It seemed to go a lot longer than an hour, but it was like full
Yeah,
of
it's been
information.
up to two, but yeah, thank you, Kelly. That's so sweet.
I tell it how it is. So today you're going to talk to us about, well, I guess planning for the new year. I mean, it's almost, oh my God, it's almost the end of 2023. That went like a blink, but
Right? I know, crazy. Like you said, we blinked and it's almost over now.
I know it's nuts. So
I'm personally glad it's over.
Yeah, it's definitely been a year for sure.
yeah.
So,
So
so
there
do you,
has,
oh, sorry, go
yep.
ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, do you want me to just answer the questions that you provided for me
Sure.
okay.
Sure. And
What were
then
you?
we'll interrupt you if anything else comes up, or we'll,
Sure.
I mean, I kind of leave it. So yeah, I'll explain it to you a little bit too. So I kind of leave it as an open, obviously
Yes.
you can tell Aaron just, ask questions when it comes up, and Carol will too. I'm sure Carol will take herself off of mute.
Hi, Carol.
She can't go on to, the, um, so we can see her because she's close to the border and her internet
Oh,
is kind of sucky.
yeah.
So
Yeah, that's fair.
we just get to hear her and not see her. That's okay. Okay, so yeah, go ahead, Glory.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for inviting me, Kelly. I'm excited to share some of my passions and some of my insights with you for what's left of this year and then into next year. So I'll just go ahead and yeah, go through these questions. So what's the vision what's the vision I see for entrepreneurs in the coming year? How can social media be the game changer to turn their dreams into reality? The vision I see for entrepreneurs in the coming year is, because of the economy, nothing's going to be easy. And that's just straight up realistic. For those that are willing to embrace change and embrace AI and embrace just shift in general, and are willing to work extremely hard, I think they will be okay. I think there will be a lot of entrepreneurs potentially getting, other jobs just to make ends meet. Lord knows I've been in that position before. And I mean, it's certainly not the end of the world, but it's our current reality. So I love to, as much as I love the power of social media, I also love to coach and train on the reality of our economy and the situation. So, if the entrepreneurs that I deal with are like month to month type people, then there has to be some realism. So that's my vision, honestly, for the next year. Like, work hard and enjoy the process,
Mm.
or have no structure and no strategy and flail. And I mean, that's a little bit of Debbie Downer sensibility, but it's realistic, and I'm very much a realist. So
Yeah, sure.
all right, imagine we're sitting in our favorite cozy spot sipping a warm cup of inspiration. I love that. More of that, please. What key trends do you foresee shaping the social media landscape for entrepreneurs in the next year? 100% AI and embracing its possibilities. It's really quite staggering what types of things are possible with AI, and just like the tools and the assistance it can provide us. I think as long as we are willing to embrace that and have that be part of our day-to-day structure and day-to-day work life, I think that's going to be a huge part of shaping what's coming.
Yeah, I
So
agree. And everything I read on anything almost, it's like,
Mm.
get a hold of it now, learn it, embrace it, figure it out, and be ahead of the curve because it's coming whether you want it or not, kind of thing.
well,
Mhm.
it's already here.
Yeah.
If you do any kind of research at all in terms of AI, it's really quite overwhelming. One of the best tips I have in terms of AI, if you are a fan of TikTok and watch TikToks, I tend to follow accounts. Well, I follow accounts that are in my niche and in my industry.
Right.
And I do follow people who, like, that's all they do in their spare time is research new AI tools, and then they share them on TikTok. I save and or screenshot and or download every single one of those so I can refer back to it later, because every single day there is something new that I'm finding. But yeah, there's a tool like Canva, especially if you have the pro version. It's just so staggeringly good. So
Well, they're changing it all the time. I just saw another post on YouTube saying some guy saying there's 7 more things on Canvas. It's just crazy. I just showed Carol was the only one that came to my Canva thing last week, and so we had a one-on-one. It was kind of great.
Yeah.
But I just showed her the bits and pieces of it, but there's so much more to it. Like, it's
Yeah,
amazing.
it is awesome. All right, let's talk dreams for entrepreneurs looking to soar. How can they use social media to not just market, but truly connect with their audience on a deep, authentic level? Great question. I would say the best way to truly connect is, I mean, starting with putting yourself out there on a very regular basis, especially in stories. And once you're in stories, it's about showing your face and asking questions and asking for responses. Because once and I'm speaking most specifically now in terms of Instagram, this can happen on Facebook as well. But when you use the tools that Instagram gives us, the stickers, the polls, the ask me a question, the different ways in which your audience can respond, that has, especially if it's like someone you don't know or don't necessarily follow, that can open the door to communication. So when you talk about something that you're going through, let's say you've been building a lead generation funnel, and it's not working so well, and you want to talk about that in your stories, and you ask for advice. Maybe someone comes along and gives you advice, or maybe it's the reverse of that. You want to share an amazing victory that you had with your new lead generation funnel that you set up through social media and into your email marketing service. And somebody can comment on that going, well, what are you talking about? How, like, I don't even know what that means. That just opens the door. So, authentically talking about your victories and your defeats. I mean, there's that's the life of this entrepreneurial, journey that we've chosen. It is never the same day after day. And that's, part of what draws us to it. And well, in my experience anyway.
It keeps life interesting, doesn't it?
Oh my goodness, does it ever?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, do you think there's stories and then there's going live? Is there a better way to go? Or, I mean, I know going live is kind of scary for.
Yeah, so going live, I honestly, I don't do it a lot. I haven't, I, I have fears around it, if I'm being completely honest. I can't go live yet on TikTok because I don't have enough followers, but on Instagram, I feel like in my experience going live, maybe I haven't prepared myself well enough to go live, because I do find when there are those that go live and they are not prepared, or they're not set up properly, or it's just random. I don't know, it turns me off from watching that content creator any further. And so I didn't ever want to become one of those. And admittedly, that's probably an excuse, but there are benefits to going live. You can absolutely use that content on other platforms and those types of things. But I personally prefer reels, carousel posts, text posts on Instagram, or not Instagram, but the reels and carousels on Instagram, text posts for LinkedIn and Facebook. Yeah, so I'm not a huge fan of going live outside of something that's prearranged in a group, or whatever, like this type of a thing, right?
Right.
Yeah. But
Anything?
that's just, yeah. Oh, okay, that's me. Next, in the
Is it,
spirit of,
would it be better for me to ask you the questions, or?
actually, yeah, that'd be great.
Okay. Okay. Then you're not doing it at all. In the spirit of aha moments, what revelations or strategies have you uncovered that entrepreneurs can apply to create marketing magic in the next chapter of their journey?
Yeah, that's it's a very deep question, but I think at the end of the day, discovering the magic will come from making video, honestly, because that is just how the audiences that we speak to on social media, how they get to know, like, and trust us.
Right.
The reality of finely coiffed images and that kind of a thing are very much a thing of the past. And that doesn't mean we shouldn't make an effort to make whatever we do put out look the best we possibly can make it and be very attractive. But yeah, the perfectionism doesn't pay the bills, not on any side of any coin.
Right. Well, people
So
buy people, right? Like,
yes, 100%.
you buy from people that you like
And can
trust.
resonate with, and that kind of a thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I love talking about, again, speaking marketing magic, I love talking about really understanding your target audience and realizing that for a lot of people, and especially for entrepreneurs and small business owners, those, out there doing a side hustle and that kind of thing, their target audience is literally themselves, because what they're doing is something that they're so passionate about, and that is such a huge, like, an innate part of them, that they likely won't sell or resonate with anybody else that isn't just like them. So I find that the majority of the students that I get are middle-aged women who are struggling to understand and use social media effectively. Well, that's me. I mean, I don't necessarily struggle, but I am the same age, if not older, than a lot of people that I teach. And I love it when they say, well, I wasn't raised with this. And I'm like, I got you by 5 years, girlfriend. So that's not an excuse.
Yeah, true enough. It's just
So
learning like anything. And there's like YouTube universities, so you can learn almost everything now.
100%. Yeah.
Okay. So picture this, entrepreneurs unleashing their stories to the world. How can social media become the stage where these stories unfold, captivate, and inspire? And we've pretty much touched on that, but
Yeah, it's just really consistency, building and growing your confidence. Something I've learned over the years of being not only self-employed, but this entrepreneurial human of the last 25 years. Confidence is, for me, it's always been a choice and something that I've needed to allow to grow. It's like a muscle that I have to build. But when I have that confidence, and here's a great example, Kelly, you were mentioning that you were enjoying my videos recently. Well, when I, the first day or two of posting consistently, I have zero confidence, but I'm forcing myself to just do it. And now I'm close to 30 days in of daily content, and I feel like way more confident even after just 1 month. So imagine doing daily content for a year, how much different you'll feel after that point, right? So it's literally just making the effort is what helps to grow the confidence.
for sure. Yeah, and I think they get better every day. Like some of
Oh,
your ones are so funny. Like I just laugh.
I definitely like being a big goofball. That's me being my authentic self, right? So
Right. Which is why I think I resonate with it, because like I can
yeah,
be a big goofball too, and then it's like you're being vulnerable, right? You're being who you
yeah,
are. So I love that.
exactly. Thank you.
So if we were hosting a social media success masterclass, what would be the first piece of golden advice you share with entrepreneurs hungry for marketing triumphs in the next year?
I would say, while diving into the deep end I'm never going to stop you, but I would be simultaneously building out a strategy that is going to get you to your ultimate goal or your end goal, building a content calendar around that strategy and actually following it. I can't tell you the number of times I've taught about strategies and calendars and planners and that kind of thing. And then I get students coming back to me going, nothing's happening. And I'm like, well, been following the content calendar? Well, no. So it's like anything else in life. We need a map to learn how to get there. And sometimes we get there in ways that we weren't, we didn't think we'd get there. And that can happen too. And that's great. Like virality, for example. There really is no science. There's no map to virality or having a viral video. So often those types of things are a fluke or just timing, that kind of thing. But, still continue to plan around those really cool golden nuggets that happen along the way. So yeah, definitely like have a plan and remain, like put blinders on. I always think of those horses that race, they have those little blinders on. Like just choose your path, be super passionate about it, and just keep going, keep
Yeah.
going.
Don't let anybody stop you.
Yes.
Listen to their blah, 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 blah. Yeah. But
Yeah.
you're right about the content calendar. That was one of the things that you told me to do. And I did it for a little while and then just kind of went off of it. It's like, oh, I got to get back on there again. I'm really working on it.
That's wonderful. Well, and that's the thing too. I never want to like chastise people or like shame people into doing things, but like when you see that these things work, why wouldn't you just do more of it? And I'm speaking to myself just as much as anybody else as well. So don't don't think I'm perfect by any stretch.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it just makes such a difference when you have that path that you can see where the end is, and all you got to do is follow it.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of my goal too for this coming year, is to plan month to month and get ahead instead of doing like week to week. Because that's what I'm kind of doing right now, is week to week, sometimes day
Yeah.
to day, but week to week.
Yeah.
Yeah, but to get a whole month in advance And then if things come up, then I have two posts that day, or things get pushed back or whatever.
Well, and that's the thing too, is that life happens. So when you are prepared, it's not is you're not scrambling as much, right?
Mm.
Like you have either something in your drafts or something that you're ready to edit and just get out there.
Yeah, for sure. Actually, this next question kind of applies to me. I can kind of relate to this one a lot. In the world of hashtags and retweets, how can entrepreneurs create a narrative on social media that's not just a marketing strategy, but a movement, like a revolution event or
That
revolution?
was a great question. Yeah, I had to ponder that one for a moment. I think in this regard, you're going to be really relying on the building your audience around you, building that awareness of your brand in ways just like you're doing here, like with groups, with like if you have a separate WhatsApp group maybe, or a Facebook group, or even like whatever, in whatever way you want to have that collective of people. It's yeah, having the group is what's going to create the movement. And sometimes it takes just as much promotion and like content to promote that group as it does like anything else that you're promoting or selling. But at least it's that core hub of like-minded people, which you don't necessarily get from posting content on, your Facebook or your Instagram or even that TikTok. Although I do find that TikTok is very, very audience based and like very, I don't want to say structured, but it's easy to build a community. Where I've experienced and watched that it's easy to build a community there. I've just started with TikTok business and promoting there. So I'm not even 30 days in, so I don't quite have a community there yet, but I'm certainly working towards it. So ask me a year from now.
Yeah, I say
yeah.
TikTok is probably my worst one. I've been concentrating more on Facebook and Instagram. But
well, and if that's where your audience lives, then that's a smart decision.
yeah,
Right?
well, that's what I was finding. I mean, I could again expand, and maybe I will in the new year. I don't know. We'll see. I'm not going to commit to anything.
Yeah, and that's wise.
So we're all talking about risks. Obviously, the recession's a big thing, and stepping into the unknown. So how can entrepreneurs embrace innovation in their social media approach to stand out and be unforgettable?
I like this question. And the answer is just be yourself. No one else is like you. You could sell the same product or service as a billion other people, and it will never be the same person to person to person, brand to brand. Not unless someone is out there stealing brand content and, brand messaging, that kind of thing. But being yourself, being authentic, being vulnerable and transparent, that's what's going to make that unforgettable experience. And I mean, it's really interesting. Like over the last couple of years, some of the women entrepreneurs that I've seen absolutely like explode in size are those that are, talking about their postpartum depression and how like being incredibly vulnerable with showing their bodies and their after baby bumps and things that I would never in a million years be brave enough to do. But man, oh man, does it resonate with other women, and they've built these massive communities and made millions of dollars because of it.
Wow.
So literally, I see it every day. The more authentic and vulnerable you are and are able to put yourself out there and be of service, more money is possible.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, probably for artists, like we mess up or we make mistakes, and showing other people that it's not a bad thing. We all are not perfect and we all make mistakes. And I don't even think it's a mistake. I don't really believe in mistakes anyway, but
Yeah, I agree with you on that one, Kelly.
like you can show yourself getting choked up about it or upset about it, and that's okay.
Yeah.
That's good. We all have
And
these feelings.
the reality is though, is we have to have the camera rolling. That's the, like I have right now. That's the, again, that's another muscle that you need to start building, is just getting into the practice of just putting the camera on so you have something to use, have something to edit.
All right.
But yeah.
Cool.
But a tripod and a cell phone, I mean, almost everybody has a cell phone, I'm quite certain, and tripods are pretty inexpensive.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but if that's the only equipment you need to change your life and change your world, I'd say it's pretty worth it.
And you could probably function a tripod out of books and different
100%,
gadgets.
100%. This little one that I have right here, it's like just a little plastic doohickey that sits on my desk. I think I paid $8 or $9 for it on Amazon.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like very inexpensive.
Yeah, it can be very cheap. So for the entrepreneur who might be feeling a bit overwhelmed, how can they simplify their social media strategy while still achieving big, audacious marketing goals?
That's a great question. And I want to reiterate, that's where the plans and the structure come in, because it can feel extremely overwhelming. But if you have, just like if you consider creating social media content for your business or your side hustle or whatever it is as part of your job, whether it be at the beginning of the day, the end of the day, the middle of the day, that's something that you put into your daily process and into your calendar, even just to make sure that you get it done. And again, as you do it consistently, and it just becomes easier and easier and easier. I now don't, struggle over what I'm going to talk about or what type of content I'm going to make, because I'm, committed to making at least one video every single day. Well, the more you do that, the easier it becomes. So that does definitely take away some of the overwhelm. I think a lot of entrepreneurs overthink way too much. I was definitely in that category for a very long time. And I certainly still am on certain days. But when we get away from the overthinking, the perfectionism, it has to look amazing before I put anything out there, that's thinking that we need to unlearn.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it takes a lot of time when you overthink. A lot of wasted
Oh
time.
goodness. And we are, we're all our own worst enemy in that regard. So for sure.
So imagine entrepreneurs are standing on the edge of a social media frontier. What tools or apps can be their compass as they navigate this exciting, ever evolving landscape? And it's so ever evolving, like every day.
Absolutely. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm a big fan of analytics for being a guide. I love the way, or wait, my compass. That's such a well-worded question. Yeah, so I'm a big fan of analytics, because you can see what's working and what's not working. And what's working, like, do more of that until it's not working anymore. And then you have to shift gears, see what's working for other people in your niche, glean ideas or format from that. And it's just, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. But again, consistency is it's such a huge element that I think a lot of small business owners, they know that they should be creating content and getting it out there. But it's just, yeah, it feels like a lot to them. And I really want to try and help people understand that it doesn't have to be a lot.
Well, especially when you first start, there's no response and nobody's looking at it right away. And like you said, it took, you got going and it just built up and built up. So it does take some time. So it's a little disheartening at first.
Well, and you're absolutely right. But in times like that, me personally, I'm a big sports fan, and I always think about someone like Michael Jordan, or, there are these great, unbelievably gifted and like famous people. They didn't get to the top after 5 days. Like, they got to the top after years and years and years of practice and failing.
Yeah, for sure.
We all know all of the stories, like Colonel Sanders, and there's so many like famous.
Thomas Edison, like 1,000
Yeah,
light bulbs.
exactly. Yeah. So everybody starts at the beginning, but if you stop, then you have to just start over again. And
Yeah.
that sucks.
Yes, it does.
Although, yeah.
They just do it, right?
Yeah.
So we talked about this before, like, let's dive into the heart of it, authenticity. How can entrepreneurs infuse their social media presence with genuine heart-to-heart connections that go beyond just business transactions?
Yeah. I'm going to go back to like putting yourself out there on video, asking questions, getting to know your audience by asking questions, by showing up for them, watching. If I wanted to grow a group of let's say female entrepreneurs and be of service to them, I would spend a great deal of time investing in their content on a regular, even daily basis, and just showing up for them, showing up for people that they follow and glean from. That just gives that awareness that, hey, I'm here, I'm interested, I authentically and genuinely want to be part of your world, and hopefully we can someday do something together in terms of being a part of the same group or whatever it is. So yeah, those heart-to-heart connections, again, that happens off of the main channels. It happens, it can start slowly in comments and head into the DMs, and then maybe eventually smaller groups that grow into bigger groups. But it does take time, and it takes a ton of effort.
That's why they call it social media, right? You don't walk up to someone and say, hey, be my buddy.
Yeah, exactly. Or what I used to call billboard marketing. I'm sure some people still call it that, but gone are the days of, buy my stuff because I said so. Like, it doesn't work like that anymore. You have to have that layer of authenticity and transparency for people to get to know you. And it's going to take like a minimum of 15 to 20 touch points before they even consider, coming on board with what your offering is.
Yeah. I think in the olden days, back when we were younger, it used to be like, I think my ex-mother-in-law said she used to work for the Sun, and she said, yeah, it took about 5 times. Now it's gone up exponentially.
Yeah, very much so. Yes. Yeah.
So in the world of likes and follows, how can entrepreneurs measure success on social media in a way that reflects the true impact that they're making in the lives of their audience?
Sales. That's a good way to measure success.
Yep.
Yeah, no, just honestly, yeah, like, what do you have a product or service that is ready to be sold, or a group or a coaching or whatever it is? If you have nothing concrete, or what's the word I'm thinking of? Yeah, success as entrepreneurs is sales at the end of the day. Really, right? Because likes, shares, follows, that does not pay the bills.
No, not at all. Unfortunately, too bad.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that it can't still be very authentic, right? So,
and maybe eventually will lead to paying the bills, but take some time.
Yeah, exactly.
So speaking of challenges, entrepreneurs are brave souls venturing into the unknown, especially artists, I think, too. What hurdles might they face in the social media realm, and how could they triumph over them?
I feel like fear, artists especially, fear of being judged or critiqued or criticized in a way, because art is just such a very personal experience, right? And when your expression, and I really respect the artists that I watch on the different social channels, especially TikTok. And I've seen lots of, lives with somebody creating something, and, there can be some really unkind comments, and you just have to learn to, in some.
Can I just say something?
Sure.
So like, and I like, so my mom is super critical of like artists making money. She's kind of that mindset. So one day she was like, you should put your art on bidding wars. And I was like, okay, like just as an idea for people to see it, maybe get it out there. And so like, I didn't expect people actually bid on it, because like I value my work and I like, have it, the prices are up there. I just thought like if I put it out there, people would see it, my website, like I put it up there and then people could go to my website. And I had some of the most nastiest, unkind comments on bidding wars that I've ever had in my life. Like, I was so, like, it was just awful. And, like, why? Like, it's a bidding site. You don't go on there to post comments, you go on there to bid on the stuff. And I understand that, like, maybe, not the right place. I understand that. But, like, you're not going on there to comment on other people's stuff. You're going on there to bid. But I had comments about like, so my like Pepsi, Kelly, my Pepsi can piece. So people were commenting, they're like, oh, like I could just go out to my yard and get a Pepsi can and do that. Like people just really nasty. Like my stuff wasn't even up for the full 24 hours before I yanked it down. I was just so upset. And then it made it worse because somebody, I never found out who, somebody contacted me through my artist webpage, and they're like, I just thought I'd let you know. I just saw them commenting on your post, or commenting. It's like a Reddit site, and it's like awful art, like r/awful art or something. And somebody has screenshotted your artwork and reposted it to this Reddit site where they're just literally bashing your artwork. And she was like, they obviously made an attempt to like black out your website, but she's like, they didn't do a very good job, because this is like where I like, so they were like, I decided to like come to your website and hopefully let you know. And I like made a report, and hopefully it got taken down. But I was just so upset, and it just completely turned me off of posting my art. Like, not necessarily on social media, but like maybe on those types of sites, because I was like, I value myself as an artist, and if you don't want to like bid for $2,000 on this work, that's fine, but you don't have to like come onto the site and tell me that I give artists a bad name, or that my artwork is trash, or that you wouldn't pay anything for it. That's not what that site is for. I was just so upset. It was just so upsetting. Like I should have probably like screenshotted it and sent it to the admins of the bidding site. But I was just so upset. I just yanked everything down because I was
sorry
just,
that happened to you, Erin. That
it was so awful.
very nice
No.
at all. You have to, unfortunately, there's people out there that decide that they have an opinion and decide that they want to put it down, and they're invisible, so they get very brave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's unfortunately no way around nasty people and people who have way too much time on their hands and have nothing better to do than bash other people. Yeah, but I'm so sorry that happened to you.
That's okay. I like
Oh,
try to not take it to heart,
yeah.
because I do value myself as an artist, but it definitely turned me off of like posting my stuff on that site. On
Well,
those
just
Yeah.
remember, Erin, it's more about them than it is about you.
Yeah.
Oh, it's all about them. Yeah, they're just rotten.
Like Lori
And they
said,
might
they
have
have too much time on their
bad
hands.
people. They just might have had a really bad day, and they're lashing out, and if they feel, yeah. Anyways, yeah. It's everywhere on social media. There isn't a social media site where that isn't
Mhm.
like it's possible that it can happen on any social media site. So I'm so against controversy, and for the most part, like I don't talk about anything when it comes to like I don't when it comes to my personal pages, I don't put anything out there that is, any type of controversial, because I'm like you, Erin. I hate it so much. And yeah, but that's
Yeah.
just me personally.
Yeah, I know. I try and stay as positive as possible too. I don't
Yeah,
want to upset anybody.
yeah,
This life's
exactly.
too short, and we all have to live on this big globe.
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so let's switch gears a bit. How can entrepreneurs use their personal stories to fuel their brand's social media narrative, creating a
Um,
ripple effect of inspiration and I can't even say the word, relatability?
Relatability. Yeah, I love, again, a really good question about using your personal story to be part of your brand, that your personal story can be part of the messaging of your brand. It can be part of the look and feel that as you use it consistently that people get used to. Your branding and your messaging should be something that's, innately part of who you are. Like I for myself, for example, when I first started teaching, outside of doing client work, someone said to me, Lorri, when you say it, it makes so much sense. And boom, that instantly became my tagline and my motto after that, making sense of social media. And it's still to this day, that's my motto. And so it's just, and I'm I guess I'm a born teacher. That's one of my gifts. And so that's just part of my personal story that I've brought to my brand. And I think everybody has that, whatever their gifts are, their backgrounds, their experiences in life, whether it be personal or job related or what have you. That's all just this big, beautiful melting pot that your brand messaging comes from, and even the design of it,
Hmm.
right? So
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm going to skip ahead a bit because I want to be mindful of your guys' time. I usually just do this for an hour. I don't want to go over, and I'm sure you have lives to get to and all that stuff. So, I'm going to go to the in spirit of gratitude. How can entrepreneurs express their thanks and appreciation to their social media community, turning followers into loyal advocates?
Yeah, that's a good question. Just, providing value. I think like providing value with no expectations is a huge way of showing gratitude. When I get this question a lot, like, why should I share my most, like how I do things, or the biggest secret of how I do things? Well, the reality is that will position you as an expert in your field. And it's rare that somebody's actually going to go ahead and try it for themselves. So as an example, there's this one fella I follow, and he gives away all these tips and tricks about home remedies and how to take, how to grow your own avocados, and how to take a lemon and clean your microwave, and like just doing all these things naturally. And even though I see step by step how he does it through the videos that he makes, I still want to buy his book because that's what's that's what's gonna, I'm always gonna have that in front of me, the recipes or the instructions on exactly how to do what he's doing. But the reality is he's giving me absolutely everything for free. But I want to buy his book because he's made it just that, like he's just made it so desirable, right? So yeah, just like he's not even asking for people to buy his book, but they're, it's there and available for us to buy it. But yeah, so just giving yourself freely with zero expectation, having that servant heart, I guess you would maybe call it.
Yeah. Yeah, I find that that seems to be kind of a bit of a starting trend, don't you find that? Because I've been watching this real estate guru guy, and he's basically telling you everything and how to do it. But of course, he wants you to buy his course because then now it's all, instead of snippets here, snippets here, snippets there, it's a course, right?
That's actually been a trend for many, many years. Yeah, but that's how a lot of people in the digital space make their money for sure.
Yeah.
But
Maybe I'm just more aware of it now.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. There's definitely a lot more of it.
Yeah, which I like because I mean, again, you get to know and like this guy, and then you trust him because he's giving you basically all he knows. And
I personally really like him because he's funny, he's goofy, he's very he's just very active and positive, and just the way he edits his videos too. And not everybody starts off with like being amazing at editing, but eventually you kind of get into the flow of something or your own style. I feel like that's kind of where I'm headed right now, is I'm discovering my style of editing that is soon going to be part of my overall brand so that it's recognizable. That's another really important aspect of being an entrepreneur, is being that consistent, that you become extremely recognizable, right? So if somebody were to see my brand colors, I hope that they will go, oh, I think that's that Klassen girl. Like I've seen her before, or I've seen those colors before. So, or, especially a logo, obviously my logo is my company name, so that doesn't really count, but colors, fonts, messaging, the way you put yourself out there, the way you present yourself. It all matters. One of my favorite people in this regard, she's a long time, we became friends on Snapchat years ago, 7-8 years ago. Her name is Chelsea Pites, and her brand is just incredible. And I mean, you would know that it's her from absolutely anywhere. Her color schemes are extremely bright and colorful and vibrant, and like she's got happy faces everywhere. And like I just see that smiley face emoji now, and I think, oh, that's Chelsea, like it has to be. So it's things like that we all should aspire towards.
for sure. Well, you can never cut your hair because every time I see your hair, I'm like, oh, there's Lorri. Stop the video.
There's the curls, yeah.
Yeah, there's the curls. So I'm gonna go again off script, but so I hope you guys will ask Lorri some questions before we end. But I just want to ask you one last question for me would be, what would be the one thing for our audience for them to, if they're not really sure of where to go and where to start or what step to take, what would you recommend? I guess that's a pretty broad question, but what would you recommend kind of be their first or biggest?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to go back to deciphering or discovering who your target audience is. And again, that is a lot of times based on who we are as individuals, right? You became an artist for a reason, or maybe you've always been an artist. I'm not sure. I can't remember your exact story, but yeah, so you teaching art or selling your art, that's just part like a big part of you for a specific reason. And as you begin to share those reasons and your story and your backstory and your journey, your target audience and those who really resonate with you will ultimately become drawn to you. So like you have to start somewhere, but knowing your target audience is so essential, and creating like an avatar around who your target audience is. Give them a name, give them a face, give them a life. What does it look like? That will help you to understand where they possibly spend the majority of their time on social media. Pardon me. And looking at data on like just researching like Facebook statistics for 2023, you can see, what age groups and genders, where they spend the majority of their time on the different platforms. So that's really a good place to start. But yeah, like
my target audience is probably going to be kids and geeks.
Oh, well, that geeks is a wide age range for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I consider myself to be a geek for sure.
I do too. I'm totally
That's
totally
why we're
I'm good with that.
Yeah, awesome. Me too.
I wouldn't have been like 30 years ago, but yeah, now whatever.
I wouldn't have admitted it 30 years ago.
Yeah. Sure.
Now
No,
I
totally
do
would.
freely.
Yeah. Like, well, I don't
Do you want
to
to see what I've been working on, Kelly?
Sure, Erin. Let's see what you've been working on.
Just I'll
Carol,
show
do you
you.
want to come off mute and ask any questions for Lorri, or?
I did put a note in chat line, but
Oh, did you?
yeah.
Oh, can you show us your Instagram and TikTok? Oh, sure. Well, my TikTok it's just my everything. All my social platforms are my name, Lorri Klassen. So, yeah,
Okay.
my TikTok.
Just one sec. While you're doing that. Okay.
There. Where's that at? Lorri Klassen. That's mine. And my Instagram is.
I think I follow you on everything.
Those are my two. Instagram and TikTok. If you could show us. Oh, there you go. Are those clickable? I'm not sure.
No, I had to paste it.
Okay. Yeah. So like I said earlier, my TikTok, I've just started using for promotional purposes, like inside of the last 30 days. So it's a lot different than my Instagram. But
Carol, are you asking do you want Lorri to show you her, like, do you want me to share her thing?
I was thinking there so I can see what it looks like and what her, I'm very visual, like I'm a hands-on person, and I just wondered what her site looks like. So I didn't know if it could be. I
yeah,
didn't know.
can I share screen?
Yeah,
Oh,
I just allowed it.
Okay. I think this is me. So the desktop version isn't quite as fun as the mobile version, but yeah, so this is my Instagram. So yeah, I've been creating a lot of reels, so these are my brand colors here. I have 3 different shades of green and then a few different shades of yellow. So, but anyways, yeah, this is what my Instagram looks like. Making your bio really clear on what it is that you provide and what it is that you offer. So that's my Instagram. Let me show my TikTok. I just posted this before we started. So yeah, I am using some videos on both platforms. So if you do actually use the same video, make sure that you're not including a watermark. And the nice thing about uploading directly into the TikTok app right now, it will download, if you have the settings set such, it will download onto your camera roll without a watermark, which is really nice, because then you can actually go over and use that for reels as well. But yeah, so I just started business promotion right about here. I think this day here. So yeah, you can see like not every video does well.
So you post every day then?
Yes, and on TikTok I'm trying to post 2 to 3 times a day actually, but on every other platform just once.
Okay.
Yeah. Does that help?
Yeah, I mean, talking is great, but I just like, it's nice to see.
Yeah, no,
That
absolutely.
beautiful wedding picture.
Yeah, I know. What's the date today? It's it's about 2.5 months now. This is
Congratulations.
our wedding dance.
Aw.
Yeah.
So look at that one. You got 591. What would is that?
Where?
Because that one.
Oh, this was I used a CapCut.
Mm,
So it's just,
okay.
yeah. CapCut is really, so these were all pictures from September.
No, better river.
Yeah. CapCut is it's a really nice, it's a really easy way to create trending videos on. And I mean, even though you use the, the filters and the trending audios, there's no guarantee that it will go viral by any stretch, but hashtags do matter. And I'm still learning on TikTok, getting past the 200, 300, 400 views kind of thing. But I'm committed, and I'm whatever it takes.
How do you find your hashtags? Do you like go and research other people?
Yeah, there are with a business account, there are ways to, or there's a section in the business hub where they tell you what some of the trending hashtags are. But I like to follow a formula of 2 or 3 hashtags, what my video is about, 2 or 3 kind of branded hashtags, and 2 or 3 who my video is for. So like, yeah, that kind of thing. So
That's cool. It's kind of a good thing to go by, because I'm like, I just throw random hashtags in there and
yeah, no, it's good to actually do a little bit of research, and especially I do more research on the Instagram side when I'm hashtagging, but like I said, on TikTok I'm still just kind of learning myself. So, but
right.
yeah.
Okay, cool. Erin, Carol, you have any further questions for Lorri before we?
I enjoyed that part actually. Yeah. So,
Yes.
yep.
Well, thank you guys for coming, and thank you, Lorri. This was awesome as always.
Yeah, my
I always learn
pleasure.
something. Every time I talk to you, I always learn something more. So
Awesome. Well, and if Carol or Kelly or Erin, if you are interested in seeing what I offer, it is linked there in my Instagram. Actually, it's linked everywhere. So it's just on my store. And yeah, if there's anything there that appeals to you, I'd love to chat further or just ask me any questions. But yeah, thank you so much, Kelly.
thank you, Lorri. This was great.
Again. Yeah.
Awesome.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.